Good morning, all. Lovely to see you on this Monday morning. Now, coming into a comfortable seat and take a few moments once you arrive there just to really make sure you are as grounded as you can feel in this seat. So make any little adjustments. You may want to lift flesh away a bit from sit bones so you feel really anchored on the mat. Also, so you feel there's as much a wider base as possible as you can create with the floor beneath you. Hands can then come down to rest in the lap. And from that point, you can then lift the spine. So give yourself a couple of moments to draw up into the spine. Almost like there's a little string at the top of the crown of the head, which is lightly lifting you up away from your sit bones. And then allow your gaze to soften. The eyes can shut. And arriving in the inner space of body, of mind. Bring your attention down to the contact that you're creating with the earth. Feel that contact. How the earth is beneath you, it rises up beneath you to hold the body. And how gravity connects you to its surface. Feel the density of the body, of the structure of bones, flesh, muscle. Noting how the outward flow of life is so supported from within you by the structure, the architecture of the skeleton. And how, in making contact with the earth and its surface, creates meaning in relationship to it. And without that contact, one wouldn't feel real. There'd be a sense of emptiness, of insubstantiality. So to this earth awareness, feeling of being held, bringing your breath. Your breath flowing through the body and down to the earth, beneath and around you. And eyes opening again. When you're ready, and feeling that contact as you sit, just noticing any sounds around you, the rain maybe, or anything else. And then we draw knees together and you're going to tip yourself forward and come up and into a forward fold. Now, first time we're here this morning, so a bit of bend through the knees. And with that bend in the knees, you can feel the weight of the spine hanging down. And allowing your spine to stretch out. Keep accentuating the bend through the knees rather than trying to lift up and straighten legs. And then with your next round of breath, just start to roll the spine up, one vertebrae to the next. And you're arriving up and into standing on your mat. Now lifting your toes up now, feet are hips width apart and the inner edges of the feet are parallel with one another. Find that balance point on the balls of the feet. Toes stretched wide and lifted. And then start to earth each of your toes from the little toe towards your big toe pad. Feel them glued to the ab surface and we're lifting heels up off the floor. Now, just holding here in balance on the balls of the foot. Breathing in, then breathing out, very consciously bringing your belly towards the base of your spine. And with your next out breath, belly to spine, and we'll drop the heels down. From here, palms turning out in front of you. And a deep in-breath, the palms are going to flow upwards. And you can lift your gaze skyward there as your palms make contact with one another above the head. Breathe in and out breath, bringing palms back and to the heart. From the heart now, another big circle through the arms. Big in-breath, guiding your palms above the head. And again, fingertips will make contact, palms will make contact. Breathe in. And out breath, palms arriving back to heart. Another in-breath. And out breath into the heart. Arriving now in chair pose, we bend the knees and we'll circle the arms up and above us. And now pressing down into your feet, all 10 toes, down into the heel. As you breathe out, we'll straighten the legs and palms will come back to the heart. We're going to do that a couple more times. Arriving in chair with a big circle. Breathing in, palms connecting. And out breath, legs straightening as you lift up into standing. One more. Arriving in chair pose again. And from this chair pose, breathing in, out breath, you're going to fold down the legs and into forward fold. Now arriving your hands just in front of your feet, either on the fingertips or palms may be coming down, or else hands somewhere to the legs. We root the left hand in front of the left foot.
Right hand is going to float out to the side of the body. It's like a bird's wing. It's not up to the ceiling. It's at shoulder height. Now turn your gaze towards that right hand. So you're looking at the underside of the right palm. Breathing in, let that right palm float up and your gaze will follow. And your right palm will float down. So your planting is in front of the right foot. Left hand coming like a bird wing out to the side of the body, palm facing down. Turn your gaze to look at it. And then an in-breath, and the left palm will float up and the gaze will follow. Left arm coming down. Deep in-breath, arriving back into chair. Breathe in, palms high. Coming into a twist in your chair now. Left elbow comes over to the right knee. And right palm stacks on top of the left hand. In prayer, your gaze to the right hand side. Left hand, not left hand, palms coming up into prayer again. And right elbow down to the left. Left hand snapped on top. And arriving back and into chair. Another deep in-breath, palms will float up. And out-breath, you're finding your way down and into forward fold again. Now breathing in now, offer your spine forward. We're going to do this a couple of times. Breathing in, lengthening out. Breathing out, folding down the length of the legs. We'll do it 2 more times. And then your palms coming down, and we'll step back into down dog. We'll just pause in down dog now, putting a bit of bend into the knees. Using that as a lever to draw your sit bones up and back so you really find a stretch all the way from the heel of the hand, out along the arms, up through the spine into sit bones. A few breaths here. And then in-breath, either drawing the knees down or else coming yourself forward and into a plank. You may need to step the feet back there in your plank, give yourself a bit of space. If your knees are down, you're still finding that sense of weight bearing on the hands. Out breath, we're all hinged back into down dog. Keep finding that lift through the spine. And again, with your in-breath coming forward, either plank or onto all fours. And out-breath, we're going to lower down to the mat. So a few little cobras here, breathing in, and we lift into the spine, just a gentle cobra. Out-breath, easing back down. And then with your next in-breath, from cobra into all fours. And we're drawing the pelvis backwards, lengthening out into spine. Pelvis is lifted more or less directly above your knees. Give yourself one more round of breath here, and you're going to arrive up onto all fours. So in-breath, lengthening up through the spine. And with your out-breath, finding the curve of the spine up to the ceiling. Now take your time, a few moments of space, to bring some flow into the spine. And take your awareness inwards into the body so you really do feel, almost you can picture the spine within you, the skeleton within the body, and how it must look, how it feels to move from this curve into the lengthening. And then, as if you were breathing space between each one of your vertebrae, follow the breath through the body, up into the skull, and back down along the length of the body into the base of the spine. And your next in-breath, we tuck toes under and we're hinging up and back into down dog. Bit of bend through the knees again. A couple of breaths, finding stillness. Feeling the strength in the body, just lifting you, holding the shape here. Use your breath to lighten the shape. One more round. And then we'll take the out breath to bring the feet up to the hands. And breathing in, we'll lengthen out the spine, offer it forward. Breathing out, folding. In breath, coming up to rise. Breathing in. And out breath, back to heart. So just opening up the flow a little bit more through the body. A big in-breath, arms will float up, above the head. And out-breath, you're folding forward and into forward fold. In-breath, you'll offer your spine forward. Palms down either to all fours or into plank. Out breath, flowing down. And in breath, lifting into cobra. So out breath, easing up and back into down dog. And on an out breath, the feet coming to the top of the mat. In breath, off your spine. And out breath, folding. Coming up to rise, breathing in. And out breath into the heart. Another in breath, the palms will flow up. And out breath into forward fold. In breath, off your spine. Now out breath, your right foot stepping back. And once your right foot stepped back a long distance, then you're going to drop the right knee down.
Taking your arms out behind you. Breathing in, we'll lift up through the arms, coming into anjaneyasana. If your palms are together, that's all good. If they're still apart from one another, now start to bring the palms together with one another. One more round. And breathing in, we'll take the left hand down to the mat. Now your right arm will come out to the side of the body again, like a bird's wing. Look over to that right palm, taking the right palm up, skywards, palm facing forward, breathing in. The next breath also, to see how it feels, if you bring your right hip very slightly forward, your left hip slightly back to level your pelvis. And then right hand floating down. You're planting both hands either sides of the front foot, back leg lifting up, and we'll start to step back and into down dog. With your in-breath, take the body either onto all fours or forward into plank. And with your out-breath, we'll lower down. An in-breath into a cobra. An out-breath, easing up and back into down dog. In-breath, looking forward. And out-breath, hands coming up to the top, feet coming up to the top of the mat. Breathe in, lengthen your spine out. Breathe out, folding. Coming up to rise, breathing in. And out-breath, back to the heart. We'll find our way into forward fold again. The arms will float up. Out breath, forward folding. And once there, then you'll step back with your left foot. From that big step, drop the left knee down and taking the arms out behind you. A big in-breath, the arms will float up into anjaneyasana. Remembering the leveling through the hips as we come down with the right hand. Right hand to the little toe edge, the front foot. Left hand will come out to the side of the body. Look over to the left hand and then left arm floating up. Your palms facing forward. Left hip forward, right hip back. And a few breaths here. Left hand coming down. So finding your way up and back into down dog again. And planting your feet so we feel level with one another. A few breaths here in stillness. Now pressing down into your left heel, bring your right knee up into your core. And we'll take the body forward a little bit, so you're kind of in a half plank here. Right knee lifted, right foot lifted. Breathe in, take the right knee out to the side of the body, out behind you, a big circle. Taking it back into the core again. Another big circle out, through the right knee. And the right foot coming back down to the floor. Left knee coming into the core. Keep the foot lifted, out to the side.
and all the way round and back into the core. It's quite hard work this, so just kind of put the right knee down if you need to. Give yourself a bit of a breather. Another circle through the left knee. And left foot coming back down into down dog. Breathing in, looking forward. Breathing out, we'll step the feet up towards hands, offering the spine, breathing in, breathing out, folding. And coming up to rise, arms floating above the head. And out breath, arriving back and to the heart. So both feet together now, hands at the heart. Breathing in, we'll lift up the right knee. Breathing out, bringing the right foot down, and we will actually plant them hips width apart from one another. I think it's a bit easier. Breathing in, left knee lifting. Breathing out, left foot coming down. Take your right arm up over the head now. Stretch it up skywards, left hand lifting down. Breathing in, left knee lifting. Bring out down the left foot and the right hand will float it down. Take your left arm up towards the sky. Moment there to stretch up through the left side of the body. Then, an in-breath, right knee will lift up. Right foot down and the left hand down. Well done. So right hand's floating up again, left knee's going to lift. And reaching down towards the left ankle, we'll take that left foot into the right thigh. Now really glue it there, push it into that right thigh. If you're comfortable, the left arm can float up, fingertips may come together. Other versions, hands down on the hips, hands at the heart. And the last breath also here. And palms will come down to the heart. And the left foot will plant down. So, left knee, left arm is going to lift up. And the right knee is going to lift up. You're then reaching down towards that right ankle, planting it into the left thigh. Really do glue it, push it into that left thigh. The right hand may float up, fingertips may come together, else hands on the waist or to the heart. And when you're ready to come down, arms floating down, right foot down, both hands at the heart. Deep in breath and let yourself circle the arms up above the head, taking this into a gentle back bend here. Now bending both knees into chair, right elbow over to the right knee, back into twist. Coming back into chair, sit deep as the arms float up. And right elbow over to left knee, left hand on top. Come back into chair. And pressing down into the feet, you're coming back into standing. Right arm comes out to the side. Now take your right arm all the way behind you, so you're looking out over your right shoulder, and you can just catch hold of a thumb behind you in your peripheral vision. Left hand is going to lift up, a bit like you're a traffic person, directing the traffic. You've got your left hand high in the air, right hand out behind you. Now keep your hips level with the front of the mat as much as you can. Lift your left knee.
If you can straighten out your left leg, that's good. Almost like you've got these lines stretching out through the body. We'll take them all down. And you're keeping your core like the center of that orbit. So everything is evolving outwards from the core. Let's try that on the other side. Left hand's coming out behind you to start. Your thumb's turned up towards ceiling and you're turning your gaze out towards that left hand. Right arm's going to float up, direct the traffic above you. You've got both arms in a right angle here. And then keeping the hips level towards the front of the mat is when you lift up your right leg. And then you may lift up the knee or you may straighten out through the right leg. And all of them coming down. Well done. Big circle through the arms, breathing in. And breathing out, coming into your forward fold, up at the top of the mat. Another in-breath, offer your spine forward. Hands coming down, we'll step back the right foot again, riding back into anjaneyasana. And you can see I'm kind of wriggling my left foot forward, just so I can frame it with my fingertips, either sides of the foot. Right knee coming down, come onto the flat of the foot. Breathe in, and we're lifting up into anjaneyasana. Now reaching your left hand out behind you, we'll take the right hand down. Now you may be comfortable bending that right knee and reaching towards the outer edge of the right foot. Then you can lift up and into twist over to the left. Else just holding, bending the knee, maybe reaching towards the foot. And we'll windmill that left hand now down. Now stretching out into the hamstrings, let's sort of runner's lunge. We'll walk the hands back in a little bit, straighten out through the spine. Bring the toes of the left foot up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, and then breathing out, folding down that left leg. Now bring that left foot down to the floor. This is when you may want to put your block just down on the little toe edge of your front foot. Lifting your back foot, rotate it down, flip it down. You may need to step it in a bit. Front knee is bent at the start. We'll start to straighten up through that front leg. Right arm lifting up towards the ceiling into Trikonasana. Anchor both feet fully on the floor. And the right hand windmilling down. And we'll step the back foot now forward to meet the front at the top of the mat. And folding. Coming up to rise, root into both feet as you lift up. Breathe in. And breathing out, forward folding all the way back down into Uttanasana. This time stepping back with the left foot. Big step back. Make sure the toes are more or less in alignment with your hands at the front of the mat. Back knee comes down onto the flat of the foot. Breathing in, we'll lift up and into anjaneyasana. Now take your left hand down now, and then maybe bending your right knee. It may just be like that, you're reaching back towards the foot. If you can get to the foot, you're coming towards the outer edge of the foot. Else right hand even on the waist, so you can kind of find that rotation into the spine. And we'll arrive in a twist over to the right hand side. Again, find a sense of almost like you're evolving from the center of the body, all these angles coming off from the center of the body. And the right hand, we're kneeling down. We're lifting up through this front leg now into the runner's lunge. Hands can walk back in a little bit. Toes pointing up, the right foot. Breathe in and lengthen. And breathing out, folding. Getting ready to arrive in Trikonasana. Right hand to the little toe edge, pop it on a block there maybe. Left foot lifts up, flip it down. We're starting to open up, lifting up through the right knee, right leg, and left arm lifting. And left hand comes down, and you're finding your way back now into down dog. Breathing in, take the spine forward. Breathing out, we come down onto the knees. Take the pelvis back. And we're arriving down into Sphinx. So you're resting on your forearms, elbows are more or less underneath the shoulders, and we're lifting up into the chest. Now, for the next last breath or so in your Sphinx, you may want to straighten up the arms to come into seal. So you're pressing down into the hands. Do be careful on the lower spine here. And arriving down to the floor. Now bend your knees as you arrive. You can make a little cushion for your forehead. And bending the knees, you then crisscross them from side to side. Then bringing both feet in towards the bottom, then lowering them down, toes tucking under. Make sure you've got your blocks to hand here, hands underneath the shoulders, and we ease up and into down, not into down dog, onto all fours, walking the hands back in. Now, you may want to reach now and grab one of your blocks, or you can use a book here, and you may just want to put them behind you, underneath your heels. You may not need that, but you may just want that. We're going to tip back, using that block to rest the heels on, until we're in a forward fold, standing on the blocks. Don't use them if you don't want to, just see what you want to do here. Taking your feet quite wide is helpful. Now, resting back on those blocks, you're now going to start to bend the knees, arriving into a squat. Heels on the block if you need to, else heels down to the floor. Now, hands are reaching out in front of you and taking your knees as wide as you can. Your upper arm is to the inside of the knees. So your knees are surrounding the arms. Reach out in front of you as if you're diving into a swimming pool. And then breathing out,
using your arms like a lever to push your knees away from you, arms up to the heart. Breathe in, reach forward, and as you reach forward, the knees press the arms towards one another. Come back to the opposite, knees easing apart from one another, hands to the heart. Breathe in, breathe out, reach forward. Breathe in, palms up to the heart. Breathe out, reach forward, in again, out, palms coming down. Now, your knees are still both to the outsides of the forearms. Just tip the weight forward. That may just be quite enough just to get used to that feeling of weight tipping forward. You can always tip back down again into your squat, tipping weight forward, and you can just rock there. A couple of breaths. You may feel comfortable lifting one foot, then the other foot. You may feel comfortable coming into crow, balance coming on the forearms, both feet lifting, drawing up into the core, and feet coming down, where all rest come back and into squat. Now, if you've got a block in behind you, remove the block now, just bringing them to the side, and we're going to tip backwards onto the sit bones. And arriving on the sit bones, we're going to hug the knees into the chest. Keep your feet flexed here as you do so. Hands coming down to either sides of the waist. Breathe in, stretch out the legs. And breathing out, we draw them back into the core. So there's a moment of hesitation because I wasn't sure if I was going to do a rather intense abdominal lowering of legs, and I actually changed my mind at the last minute. You may be happy to know, but having confessed that, we're breathing again, legs lifting, and only if you want to, taking the legs down and towards the floor. And we'll all meet, breathing out in a forward fold. Now, if your hands are kind of near to the feet or touching feet, see if you can bring your palms around the base of the heels here. Slightly different feeling, bending the elbows out to the sides, breathing in, lengthening out, and breathing out, folding down the length of the legs. If hands are on the legs or either sides of the body, still bending your elbows out to the sides, breathing in, lengthen out, and folding in. And in breath, we're lifting up and into sitting. Stretch out your left leg now in front of you. Right knee is bent up, and we're bringing the hands underneath the right shin, a bit like a forklift. Both arms are here. You can bring the palms together. Now we're looking to bring this right knee out in front of you. So this left right shin is as parallel as you can make it to the edge of the mat. Lift your forklift a little bit higher if you can. You should be feeling it down here in the glutes and all the muscles around the back of the bottom. All good for the hips. The breath also there. Next round of breath. And then we're going to drop the foot either down to the thigh, or else you can bring it to the side of the thigh, whatever you want to. Bringing the right knee out to the side of the body, in breath,
arms flowing up. Out breath, folding down the length of the leg. And breathing in, lifting up into sitting again. Right, stretching out your right leg, bending the left knee and bringing the forklift, the arms underneath the left shin, palms can be together, and you're drawing that left shin around to the front of the mat. It's more or less perpendicular with a stretched out right leg. You can lift your forklift a little bit higher. We'll take a few breaths here. And then foot's either coming down to the top of the thigh or else you're taking this into the left thigh. Do be careful you're taking it to the top of the thigh, that you're not putting pressure on the knees. So if you haven't had any knee injuries, it's probably best to bring the foot into the crease of the thigh. In breath, arms floating up. Out breath, folding down the length of the right leg. And starting to walk your hands back into sitting. And we're stretching out both legs in front of us. So taking the heels of the feet now together, and we're making a little diamond shape through the body, and palms, fingers are going to come down to the soles of the feet. Now start to prise the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Almost like you're opening the pages of a book. Just work your way down the soles of the feet as you do so. And then we'll just bring the hands to the tops of the toes. Breathe in, lift up. Breathing out, elbows bending again, and we're folding forwards. Now, you can kind of tuck the head down as if you're looking to rest the head in the soles of the feet. So you can really curve the spine here. Make yourself into a little ball. And taking your time, arriving back into sitting, both knees together, sliding out the legs, breathing in, arms floating up, palms can touch, and breathing out, folding forwards, bowing forwards towards feet. Now breathe in, lengthen out into your spine again. And a bit of bend through the elbows as you come into forward fold. And we'll slide hands up the legs. And you're arriving down on the spine. So hug your knees into your chest as you first arrive. You can just rock a little bit one side over to the other. And then we'll drop the knees down to the floor. We'll take the arms out to either sides of the body. And we'll take their knees over to the right hand side. Do keep them stacked together as much as you can. And you're turning your gaze over to the left arm. Take the knees back to your center line, dropping them over to the left, gazing towards the right. And arriving on the spine, catching hold of outer edges of feet, taking feet to either sides, knees apart, elbows to the insides of the knees again. And you're just arriving into happy baby. You can rock a little bit from side to side, just to soften out the spine a little bit more. And we'll then take the feet together, the knees together, feet coming to the floor, palms turning out to either sides of the body. And we'll stretch the legs out. Now once they arrive, make sure you've got some space between feet, toes turning apart from one another. And turning your head from one side over to the other side and back to the center line. Take the chin up away from your throat and then leveling it out, lengthening out the back of the neck, just coming into rest for a few moments. Note the lightness in your body, moving its weight, its density. Feeling your breath moving from inner space into the space around you, and then back inwards again. I'm in savasana for a few moments. Just going to grab some water. We're starting to bring a little bit of movement into the body. Fingers together and toes from side to side. And when you're ready to move, stretch out your right arm up over the head by the side of the right ear. And then bending your knees and rolling over onto the right side of the body. Finding your way up when you're ready and into sitting. So arriving in sitting, we bring palms down to the lap, one palm on top of the other, thumbs together, and allowing eyes to shut. And finding the stillness, the peace of contact with earth through the body. And wherever you feel that contact, imagine as if you had roots that were stretching from the body down into the earth, holding you, stabilizing that contact. As if the skeleton, its structure, its substance, is part of the earth. And breathing in, allowing the spine to lift, feeling breath, lightness, along the back of the spine, drawing you upwards. And breathing out, affirming your roots, as if energy were traveling down along the front of the spine and skull, back down to the base of the pelvis, contact with earth. So follow your breath flow for a few moments. Up from your roots, along the back of the spine as you breathe in. And breathing out. Down the front of the spine, back down to earth. Note at source how grounded the body is, how it is connected to the earth. How with each breath, each moment, you're held on its surface. And bringing palms up to the heart. Feeling connection from earth to heart. And bowing forwards to this source of earth wisdom within us. Our connection at source to the planet, earth holding us. And when you're ready, closing your practice. Thank you.